Clap now instead of.
You can do it.
Good? All right. For those that don't know me, my name is Christopher Michael. Currently employed with SRA. Used to be with SRUK. I tend to jump around a lot. I'm going to just give a brief little overview of our status for EFL and Enlightenment as a Wayland Only compositor. Okay, well, yep, there we go. All right, so what we had to deal with in EFL, we have to do basically lower level hardware interfaces, DRM, input, things of that nature. We ended up doing the Wayland engines in Evas, and we have Evas also to support that. And I'll briefly go over the status of the Enlightenment port. All right, so for our lower level interfaces for EFL, we needed the DRM support, virtual terminals, input devices, and output devices also. None of these are trivial, to say the least. So DRM, what I went and did is I implemented a DRM library, utilizing library DRM for actual hardware interface to the card. We have some preliminary API for that in DRM. It's not a set in stone API yet. What is there you can use, but there's still more API that needs to be added there. We're missing a few functions related to output. Initially, the DRM library was using direct dbus calls and UDev calls. After some convincing from a certain German guy, we ported those basically to use EAS and ELDbus now. We have those available anyway, might as well use them. What the DRM library is missing at the moment is hot plug support for outputs, which will tie into the Enlightenment render stuff. I have somebody already started working on that. That should be done in a day or two. Virtual terminals. This was an interesting bit. For the moment, I had to implement these doing systemd calls, basically to get the session ID and then utilize dbus to take control of the session or release control of the session. I did have, a while ago, a bit of code that was kind of... Good? Okay. All right, so for virtual terminal support, I basically had to fall back to systemd for this. I had an implementation I wrote quite a while ago, but it quickly showed its limitations and essentially was not going to work. So I basically used systemd to grab the session, and we used dbus to take control, release control of the session. We do have hotkey switching for virtual terminals now. That is in there. And we correctly listen to the proper signals. Some compositors like Weston don't. They're using SIG user 1 for both release and acquire, and it's technically not accurate. Input devices. Again, originally had them as bare bones raw UDev and dbus calls, but that got switched out. We do have some preliminary support for libinput, but none of that is committed or pushed yet. It's all local at the moment, but that will get pushed up as soon as that's ready. I don't expect that to take too long at all. There is an issue with libinput, and it is that on distributions like Arch, they may have changed this now, but a week or two ago when I updated, they were still using libinput 0.2, and that was because the GTK toolkit for their compositor were using libinput 2. We're now at 0.6, I think, for libinput now. So basically, we have a choice: do we follow what the distribution uses, or should we be following what upstream has? We need to make a decision here.
Follow what upstream has because they do it, because I know that the feature control puts lots of changes and fixes in the input.
Yes.
It moves along fairly rapidly.
And
if it's a matter that GTK is living on a old libinput because they haven't adapted to
right.
breaks in API,
right.
but we need those fixes, then we need those fixes. And We can't be held back just because someone
No,
else has adapted. We have
which
to
was my stance also. But the other flip side of that coin is, you know, users running the distro, now they got to go pull something from Git and manually build it because it's not packaged up for them.
The other alternative is we roll a copy of lib input into our tree and ship it along with it. We don't maintain it. We just
Some distribution.
Can we do that? Can we do that though?
Don't, but if you've got a conflict of GTK only works in 0.2 and it only works 0.6, what are you going to do?
Oh, that's exactly why I'm trying to get some input here. I need a, you know, direction to take.
When eventually one day things stabilize and everyone's on the latest version, we can rip it out and externally link.
Right. Okay.
The last release lib inputs made, they always noted that there are some API additions, but
Right.
there haven't been changes lately, so that has been really slowing down. And at least what I read out of the announcement they have is more like they're really trying to bring the API in a state.
Yeah, they are trying to stabilize a bit.
I would hope that GTK updates at that point because whatever non shell and so on will rely on it at some point. So I really just go with 1.6, 0.
I'd be more than happy to. I just wanted to get a general consensus.
Well, we go 0.6, then people are going to have to pull from Git for now.
Right, until it gets packaged up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
it depends how long lib input stays in this state, how long GTK stays in this state. If they stay
Right.
long enough, then we may have to pull it in. We don't have to pull it in and merge into EFL.
No.
We pull it in
No.
just as an external tree. We build it along, just statically compile it in for now, and the day comes we don't need it, we rip it straight back out again.
Okay. All right, we could do that because I was maintaining two different branches of the lib input code. For us, I had one that worked at 0.2 and I have one that works at 0.6, and it was getting very hairy trying to balance both trees.
No, first of all, definitely don't use two branches for that. If anything, you have to have the same code deal with both, depending on how you compile on the version. But otherwise, that's also painful, so you may well just stick to one.
Right.
Stick to that.
All right, I'll do the 0.6 then, and we'll go that route. All right, that sounds good. Did I miss a slide? Let me see. Hang on. No. Okay. All right. So for Evas drawing canvases in Wayland, we have shared memory, we have EGL, and we have a DRM engine. On the Evas side, all of those engines are pretty much feature complete. Transparency, rotation, double, triple buffering are applicable. The EGL one does support buffer aging, partial swaps. We have client-side decorations in all the engines. So if basically someone creates an app and doesn't create a border for it, we have one, it'll internally fall back on one of those. The DRM engine, interesting bits here. Software-wise, it's done. FBOs are supported, yada, yada, yada. The hardware accelerated portion of that just recently got committed. Does need more testing, and it is GBM based, which is a potential problem because it doesn't support TBM, TTM, various other buffer managements.
At this stage, there is no real life in the wild hardware that supports TBM that you could.
No, but it's something we're gonna have. It's a bridge we're gonna have to cross because Tizen's gonna be using TBM. So, sadly, though, the way.
That's why you abstracted.
Well, that's what I was just going to say. Sadly, the person who wrote the hardware accelerated portion of that did not take into account any abstraction. It's all very much GBM based. So I may have to do some rewriting on that. I don't think it's going to change anything API-wise or nothing like that. It'll just be internal behind the scenes. But that is on the to-do list, something to ponder. We have our Evas engines built on top of the Evas engines. And pretty much the same. Right. Yeah, we fully support the WL shell and XDG shells, but it has to be XDG 1.6. Anything older than that is not going to work because XDG has changed so much. It's crazy. The Enlightenment with X11 with Wayland clients. We have Wayland Only, and we have Wayland Only with X11 clients.
That last one what?
I will get to that. Patience, sir, patience. All right, X11 running Wayland clients. Fully supported, Wayland clients, not a problem. We have WL shell and XDD shell both wrapped into one module, one Enlightenment module. So it doesn't matter what Wayland client you start. If it's an older client that has WL shell, it'll still be supported. If it's a newer client with XDG, that's supported also. Minimize, maximize, full screen, all that fun stuff is all supported. Resizing, moving, everything you would expect to be able to do with the window. We are missing some things. Proper border icon support. Sadly, in Wayland, clients don't advertise what their border icon should be. They basically manually create the border icon themselves and stick it in their own border. And as such, we have no way to get reference to that.
So how do they plan on doing stuff like taskbar and all that?
That is my point exactly.
That's exactly why we have to do
it's
first.
Exactly.
We have to solve these problems first because no one else has gone and solved them.
Yes, there's no existing solution for that at the moment.
And we'll probably have to write any protocol extensions to do exactly that. So
yes.
It might simply be, here's my icon name, you go look it up.
Exactly.
Or it might be a full icon
exactly.
path. I mean, we can debate that amongst ourselves.
Yeah, this acts badly for Firefox and all of the non-UFL apps, which is most of what we use.
It means that extension is then going to have to be basically adopted and pushed back to
the
shell,
yeah.
and then everyone else adopts. But someone has to prototype and make it work first to basically.
Right. Right. And I'm thinking, and my train of thought actually is to use an icon name per se. I mean, currently they're just sending you a blob of pixels and saying, here's my icon, which is fine. But I think if we go with a border name type of deal or an icon name, we'd be better off because we'd be able to switch icon themes and things like that.
Yeah, but the problem is then the icon and the border that the application puts there will not match the icon being displayed by the window manager.
Yes.
But then the slight downside of that is scalability, that you might choose a different actual file path for that.
Also in consideration, yeah.
So you might have to be giving both icon name and icon theme together as a tuple. So you choose from the same theme.
That could be,
icon.
Yeah.
So
but
then at least they match.
Right, but then we have to have a way to wire it back to the client, basically, that says, you know, hey, update your icon to this.
No, in this case, icon client is king. The client has decided its icon is this. It's already put in its title bar in its corner. It's already decided what theme.
Right, but then it gives us the name of that icon if we have an E setting that changes the icon theme.
No, the client provides the icon theme name. You match it. You would hope that the client chooses the same theme if being told to choose
right.
It may or may not.
It may or may not.
The thing is, I mean, icons in the window borders, I don't like it personally, I don't see the point of them. And I think GTK dropped them recently, and it's probably the trend anyway.
Right, but for things like a taskbar or iBox or something like that, you want that support.
We won't have this problem of applications not matching the taskbar because people don't really use that in the window decoration anyway.
Yeah, that is the current trend. Yeah, the current trend is moving away from that. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's still going to pop up and be an issue for things like taskbar and stuff like that, though. Yeah. No sys tray support. So all you sys tray lovers, bye bye, bye bye. I know that makes Mike happy. I know that makes Mike happy. To my knowledge, there's no plans for it either at the moment. Well, don't celebrate too early because I heard some people talking the other day about it. So
there is a Evas extension that should work. No?
There is a dbus extension, and we may be able to make that work. Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, it won't be supporting things like xembed and that whole hairiness. You know.
The dbus thing will work around.
Yeah, the dbus will work regardless, but xembed is non-existent at this point. So. You sys tray lovers, sorry. You sys tray haters, hey, you can celebrate. There's no support in the protocol or in the clients or in any of the compositors for any type of ICCM, NetWM properties.
Some of that is going to maybe making its way back via extensions.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Required or insane.
Or they'll come up with some other type of mechanism to deal with it. But right. Yeah. Well, this is just a status report, so I'm just giving you status. You know, there is no. And I do have a sneaky little issue that popped in the past week or two. I have a rendering issue when I resize clients now. I think I talked to you about that briefly. on IRC a week or two ago. I don't know, we'll go over it again, no big deal. Oh, cursor name support. We have an issue with this. Well, the way currently Enlightenment is doing the cursors, by cursor name, you know, resize cursor, move cursor.
That's its own cursor, so it renders that itself.
Right, but how does it get that?
Gets it from the thing.
Okay, wrong question. You're going to resize a client. You move the cursor to the corner of the client.
Yep.
All right. How does Enlightenment know that it needs the resize cursor there?
It doesn't. The client controls that. In a Wayland world, the client
I'm not talking about. I'm talking about existing X11 at the moment.
Huh? Okay, wait, not Wayland. What? Huh?
No, I'm talking in our X11 scenario.
Yep.
Okay. Basically, we supply.
In the corner of the border
Right.
is controlled by the window manager. It's its element.
Right, which is using cursor names, a resize, a move.
And it actually ends up intersecting and it comes straight from the theme. It actually is an edge object. The
Right.
animation comes straight
Okay, now this is leading into my problem. With the Wayland client, those cursors are drawn by
from
the client, which does not advertise a move cursor or a resize cursor. It gives us the pixels of the cursor, okay? So it changes itself into a resize cursor or a move cursor, you know, graphically. Our issue is that we can't use Enlightenment cursors for that.
Correct.
Because we don't know the cursor name.
Correct.
So we have no cursor name support.
Correct, you don't need it. In the Wayland universe, all this stuff is client.
Yes, I realize that, but it provides an inconsistency between the window manager and the clients.
Yep, and different clients using different toolkits have different borders with different title bars. They have different buttons with different title bars, etc. Yes, there's inconsistency. In the Wayland universe, the consistency is within the border that includes a title bar, shadowing, and
right. It's client specific.
The consistency starts there, and within that universe, it's all the same.
Yes.
And you do not expect those cursors to be the same necessarily between every single client. They will choose what cursor to display.
Right.
Now, an EFL application would probably dig through the elementary theme, discover this exact cursor there, and go, "Bing, here's my pixels."
Yes. For EFL apps inside of this, we don't have a problem.
For
not a big deal.
apps, they will choose whatever it is they choose to choose.
I'm wondering if maybe we should look into an extension or something for that also.
I'm not so sure that that's going to be warmly received by the way.
Don't think so?
Large.
Okay.
And it kind of goes against the general design ethos of Wayland.
All right, then we're going to have mismatched cursors. Nothing I can do about it. Okay.
No, mismatched. They're perfectly matched. The cursors.
No, they're not perfectly matched.
Will be the same cursors that every other GTK application chooses.
Yes, and they perfectly do not match the window manager.
No, because there is no window manager cursor. They will never match. It doesn't exist, so they will not match.
I'm just for our purposes of running Wayland only, we have our e-cursors, and they look totally not consistent. That's my point.
That is exactly the intent. The intent is that that within that application they're consistent. When you mouse over the resize thingy, you get the same one that application and that desktop/toolkit
provides. Sure, absolutely.
If every app is a GTK/Chrome app, you will get a perfectly consistent
GTK cursor. Yeah. I'm just saying it doesn't match the window manager. That's all.
Look, there's bigger problems than the cursor.
I know.
If you pop up an EFL app in a GNOME desktop, the EFL app will be dark gray, elementary EFL looking, and the GNOME app will be all white and thingy. Dude, there's much more. Much more differences between those apps than the cursor.
There are bigger problems. I agree.
Those problems will never be solved because those toolkits fundamentally are going to disagree on that thing. So why would you try and match the cursors when you can't match anything else?
Valid point. Okay.
So you may as well have it consistent within its universe, and its window in the world, in the screen, is its universe. That includes its cursor. Right.
In that case, then that's not an actual issue.
It's a problem you don't have to chase up the tree.
Okay.
Move that problem up that tree
and just let it be. All right. I'll take that one off my to-do list then. All right. Yeah. Okay. So we're running Wayland only. No X11. Yada yada. Again, Wayland clients fully supported. Both shells are fully supported. And we have what you would expect, as normal functionality for Windows: minimize, maximize, move, resize, whole 9 yards, along with the same problems that were listed previously. Now, this does actually function. Usable to a degree, needs more polish, more testing, needs a little bit more time. It's not fully cooked yet. It's only like half baked. So it has to sit in the oven a little bit. But if anybody wants to play around, the code is on Git. You can build it, you can run it, you can test it, you can,
Is any multi-screen support there at this stage?
No. I was digging into that, and we ran into a big old issue that I need to go over with you.
Okay.
We got a huge problem. I'll leave it at that for the moment. I'll leave it at that for the moment. Wayland Only with X11 clients. This is X-Wayland, so to speak. It's being worked on. I had to move it. I did it as a module, but I had to move the module out of tree. Okay, because it relies on XCB to make it work.
What? Enlightenment already relies on XCB to compile it for X11.
Right, I'm talking about compiling for Wayland Only, no X11.
X11 clients for Wayland Only, you're going to rely on X11.
The clients are.
You're going to run, no. You absolutely not. The way it is being done in the Wayland universe is whoever's the Wayland compositor is either going to spawn an external window manager or talk to the X server via X11 protocol anyway. As if it were a window.
What it does is it spawns the X-Wayland binary. They have a separate X-Wayland binary now. So what I did basically, compiled with Wayland Only, so we have no X11 at all in the core Enlightenment. All right, and now I have an external module that, when you load it, will basically sit and listen for an X client. When it sees that X client starting, or trying to start, it will start up the X-Wayland binary. Okay, and then do all the necessary pieces behind the scenes to make that working. But I had to move that module out of tree because it depends on XCB.
I don't see why you have to move it out of tree.
Because...
I have a question. Why
Sure.
do you have to move it out of tree?
Because somebody didn't want me putting an XCB module in there. Do you remember when you said that?
No, I didn't say that.
Yes.
I can go check the logs now. I would not have said that.
Okay, we could check the logs.
But in all seriousness, it's a requirement one way or the other, whether it's in tree or out of tree. It's a requirement. You're going to need it on your system. You're going to need the link. You're going to need the dependency. It's easier if it's in tree. It's easier to maintain.
Oh, I agree, and I started it in tree, but after discussion that I moved it out of tree.
That was one of your fever dreams. But anyway,
Okay.
you can just add another check and have it only for that module. It's
Chris, simple.
So you're right if I do it like that then.
Move it back in.
Okay.
Move it back. I actually don't care what Mike says. Move it back in because it doesn't make
I don't
sense.
care what he says. Move it back in.
You've been vetoed. You've been vetoed.
This guy over here is crazy. Just move it back in the tree.
It doesn't make sense being out of tree. It really doesn't. Yes, you shouldn't link to XCB anywhere else except that one module.
Right.
It makes no sense.
Right, yeah. There was a miscommunication or a disagreement at the time, so I just moved it out.
XCB at all. Why doesn't it do XCB at all?
Why?
Yeah. And what you just described that it does, why does it need XCB?
Communication
For what?
between the X client and X-Wayland.
For what?
Communication.
No, wait. Between the X client and X-Wayland. The X
Right.
client talks to the X-Wayland server. You're just opening the socket to wait for the first client to talk and know when to launch the
Right, and we
X-Wayland binary.
create basically a fake X window manager process.
Yes, no, the issue here is that it uses some XCB stuff that we can't use easily in eCoreX.
No, I tried to do it with eCoreX, we couldn't do that.
Why is using XCB at all?
What XCB stuff are you using?
I'd have to take a look at the code again. It's been a while since I touched it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like the init.
I do have it on the laptop. I can tell you
It's
after the.
init stuff.
What's that?
Why
It's
do
the
you need
init
it?
stuff.
It was init stuff, and then there was an event FD or something we have to listen on
We
too.
can talk about this later.
Yeah, there's an event FD I think we have to listen on
Is this
too.
just to do FT pass the connection in?
Right. Right.
Okay. So there's XCB, there's extensions, there's an extension. whereby X protocol use XCB directly, you can FT pass a client in to the X Wayland binary, right?
No. The X Wayland binary starts and then the clients just talk to that. We don't pass anything to the binary.
So the client is connected to your socket?
Yes.
How does the X Wayland binary then talk to the client since the client's connected to your
When we start the X Wayland binary, we pass that FD to X Wayland, and it listens and communicates with that. It's a command line switch for X Wayland. You can actually pass it right in.
Okay, that must be passed by a socket or a pipe or something. But anyway.
I didn't.
Then if you're doing that,
I'm pretty sure it was socket. Pretty sure it was socket.
XCB, since you're passing it in by the command line, why do you need XCB?
I'd have to look again, Karsten.
Okay, right.
It's been a while since I touched that.
Question.
Oh no, and I have the answer sitting over there on my laptop. I just have to get to it and dig back into that code.
I think there is one reason you absolutely need XCB or XLib, and someone has
Right.
to be a window manager in
Right.
the binary. Someone
Right.
has to talk ICCM and bridge
Yes.
that back.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
the bridging.
That would be us.
So you actually need a complete and full either XLib or XCB stack capable of doing that regardless.
At the moment, XCB.
Okay. So that isn't a small requirement. It's going to be there's a big requirement.
No, yeah, yeah. I tried it. I tried it with XLib. It wouldn't quite function. I switched it to XCB. It works fine. So.
Why did you move it out of the tree?
Oh, shut up!
I'm going to beat you with a chat log. All right. So since we only have a couple minutes left, 5 to what? All right. I had some discussion topics I was going to go over here, but apparently I ran out of time.
You still got 13 minutes.
Not according to him. He said 2 minutes. So.
He's wrong.
It's 40 minutes fine though?
Yeah, he's got his own 320. You have 12 minutes.
Okay, so you're at
Oh, all right. Yay.
Your talk gets the full discussion.
I'm telling you. Hey. Okay. There's some things that we need to basically make some decisions on. One of them is the virtual terminal support. Some people are crying about systemd. To them, I say, give me an implementation that doesn't involve systemd, and I'll be happy to put it in. Multiple output configuration, hot plugging for UDev. I have somebody working on the hot plug for UDev portion. That should go into DRM library very shortly. We do have the, along with the output configuration problem, we have the eCore Evas, single eCore Evas compositor issue that I started discussing with Mike the other day. And that is basically the compositor creates one eCore Evas, and we need to basically take that single eCore Evas and output half of it to one screen and output the other half to an external screen. Not easily done. We're trying to come up with a solution for that. Until we get that, we're not going to have really good multiple output support for a Wayland Only situation. Features lacking in the current shell protocols. There's no uniconify. Basically, you can make a call to minimize a window via the protocol, but you can't make a call to unminimize the window. Well, you have a maximized and unmaximized, a full screen and an unfull screen. You have a minimize. Where's the unminimize? Doesn't exist yet. That needs to be written. No sys trays, no border icons, no cursor name, and no ICCM, which we kind of already beat to death. Right, the resizing issue I got to look into. Yes, with yeah. Well, we discussed a lot of these already. Discussion was supposed to come later, you know, but yeah, I know how it goes. Okay, there are some patches I have for X Wayland that I have to get upstreamed to X Wayland. You said you knew somebody? Yeah. It was around the same time, yeah. I think it even might have been the same day. Maybe you were half asleep that day or something. All right, well, grep your logs. I'll need to get them pushed upstream, so if we know somebody, that'd be great. Well, in closing, EFL on Wayland is fully functional, fully supported, and runs like a dream. You know, EFL apps in Weston, any kind of Wayland compositor.
Is copy and paste fixed?
Yes.
Oh, it's fixed now.
As is drag and drop also.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I know it was. You told me like 6 times.
Only 6 times. You're lucky.
I know, right? So yeah, EFL Wayland has DRM support, virtual terminal support, input outputs, whole 9 yards. We support both the shells, the old one and the new one. Enlightenment as a Wayland Only self-contained no X11 compositor is usable, but you will find bugs, you will find issues. It's not quite there yet. All right, if you want to test and play around with it, be my guest, report what you find and see, no worries. We'll get it all sorted out eventually, but there are some rough edges there, so. I had a couple more slides. I'm just going to skip right through those because, hey, and thank you. Yay, that was it. I'm done. Done getting picked on. Oh, if anybody wants or needs a demo or something, catch me when I'm around and I'll show you what I got working.
You know, now it's great.
No.
No.
We have an output problem. Weren't you paying attention, man?
Fix it.
Oh, you got to say that 2 or 3 more times. You missed a couple.